Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so today I want to discuss the audio component or the audio based release for Lana Del Rey's book of poetry, Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass. And the CD is behind me here. Oh Christ, I'll attempt to grab it without knocking anything over, especially part 6, Jason, because that motherfucker lives to fall. But here it is, or here it is. Can't really see it because of the way of the light set up. And she has collected 14 of what I am assuming is her favorite poems from her book of poetry under the same name. And when I ordered this, I thought it would be fun because growing up, what was the name of the Doors record they released after Morrison died, where they put music to his poetry? I think it was An American Prayer was the name of that record. I'm not 100%, but I grew up loving aspects of that record from the Doors, but usually like spoken word, poetry, CDs, if you will. Specifically here, it is a CD. It's almost like I buy them just because I love the band or the person from the band that did it, and it's more like a completionist thing. But when I bought this, I got a vibe like there'd be more to it. And given how in love I am with Lana Del Rey, and considering how incredibly talented she is, that sort of creates the perfect storm. Because this, I have listened to LA, Who Am I to Love You? I love that poem. The other thing too, quickly, I would like to point out that I've marked off a handful of, like, I'd say about 15, 16 poems in her book that I absolutely love. And 4 of them that I loved on my own, she has chosen to put on this record here. LA, Who Am I to Love You, as well as the title track from both the album and the book, Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass. And then Past the Bushes, Cypress Thriving, and Bare Feet on Linoleum were 4 of the ones that I had sort of like marked off in there that I've read more. And they're on here as well. And I thought that was really cool. I think the thing that sells this record so completely, or this project so completely, is Lana's readings of her poetry. Now, these sort of spoken word, sort of like, so I shouldn't say spoken word, were these sort of, well, no, spoken word works, I guess, where the author is reading their work. If they don't do it with some sense of zeal or zest, like there isn't some pep, you know? It's just like, yeah, and then like I'm reading my book and I'm doing this, and then the character did that, and it's like, oh, fuck, I just want to die. But with this, it's as if Del Rey is acting at times, like with fucking LA, Who Am I to Love You? Like when she's like, can I come home now? You know, there's like a sense of urgency in her voice, and there's a sense of longing and concern and fear. And it's as if that Lana is acting out the person's feelings who the poetry is about. And she does a really good job of convincing me that she's really in it. Like, you know, when she's like, can I come home now? She sounds scared, like she actually wants to come home. And what I would argue is possibly the scariest poem in the entire book, and which is definitely the most like alarming sounding poem on this record, is Bare Feet on Linoleum. And musically on this, Jack Antonoff is credited with 100% of the music, and he's just sort of allowed to sort of do whatever he wants. And this music is a lot more ambient, it's a lot more free form. It still has a lot of focus and structure, but this does feel a little more out there, just for the music to exist on its own, separate from the poetry. But with Bare Feet on Linoleum, he had to have taken a page out of Einstein on the Beach, because of the constant chatter in the background as Lana is reading the poem, which is, I've always found to be, which I said is pretty much the most alarming poem in the book for me. You can hear the chatter in the background, and it's very reminiscent of Philip Glass's Einstein on the Beach. It's sort of like that endless, like people are like, there's like a cocktail party going on in the background. Of course, much lower than Lana's voice while she's reciting the poem. But it's a really great way to end the record, because I felt, like I said, that Bare Feet on Linoleum was like the most haunted poem in the book. And I imagine they felt the same way, I think, because that's why they chose to end the record with Bare Feet on Linoleum. And they chose to make the music for it, the instrumental aspects of it more eerie, a little more shifty and a little more uncertain. And with the chattering back and forth, it reminds me so much of Einstein on the Beach, that there's no way that this was done completely by mistake or just by happenstance. Antonov had to be directly referencing Philip Glass's Einstein on the Beach. Like, I am 100% convinced of that. There's no way around it. Yeah, and now I will say that, poetry CDs and like audio poetry isn't really for everybody. And so this record will, of course, have very limited appeal. But if you love Del Rey as a writer and you really want to hear her voice sort of wrap around her words, this is a fantastic way to do it. And you can tell that, like I said, she believes every word, and that like every breath she takes is like immersed in whatever it is she's thinking about as she was writing / reading these back. Or at least that's how I feel. I buy it 100%. Now, whether or not you will, I have no idea. Yeah, I'm done. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little over 6 minutes while I discussed the audio component to Lana Del Rey's book of poetry, The Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass. This was released back in 2020. If anybody remembers that year that COVID nonsense happened. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. You're awesome. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.